everybody, welcome to episode number 38, I believe, of my series of live walks through the city. If you are currently not in Paris, but you wish you were, then I'm your man, because I'm going to give you a vicarious live stroll in real time through an arrondissement that gets often overlooked. The 16th, number 16, as we look at the Café à la Fontaine. If you can hear me now, you're probably watching the replay, and I thank you for that. I'm waiting for a few live viewers to arrive. Hi Phyllis Cartwright, you're the first name that I see. Turns out we're actually going to get this Art Nouveau tour underway, finally, after I tried twice in previous weeks and had to cancel at the last minute each time. So we've got a lovely cafe to start with, and I got a couple of nice cafes to show you today. Let me get the equipment prepped here. Café à la Fontaine. Hello, everybody. Let me show you this beautiful, rather concave facade of the cafe. There's a hotel above as well. We're in the 16th arrondissement today. I'm calling this one the Art Nouveau tour. We're going to explore some of the lovely architecture of a very famous Art Nouveau architect, and we'll talk about him in a moment. But starting with this very sort of, quite a holiday theme of the Café à la Fontaine. Welcome, everybody. All right, 90 of you already, so we're ready to get started. We're finally doing the Art Nouveau walk. Nice little balcony over there, if you can make it out. I gotta tell you, almost every building in this area is fantastic. We're in the 16th arrondissement. Hi, Kathy there. I can see you. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday, if you are in fact American like myself. And let's get started. Bonjour, everyone. I can see you all coming up there and wishing me lots of hellos and bonjours. Thank you for that. So, Art Nouveau, very, very special style. I think one reason Paris is so beautiful is because of precisely what happened in the 1880s, 1890s, turn of the century, what we would refer to as the Belle Époque of Paris. And let's just jump right into it, because I do have a schedule to follow today. I've got a family excursion after all of this, so I got to keep my eye on the clock today. Once again, we're in the 16th arrondissement. And before we even get to the Art Nouveau loveliness of this area, I've got several versions of it to show you. We have a lot of areas. I mean, this is a very high rent neighborhood, and there are these gated entrances that will lead you to these rather village-like pathways with very quite high-end apartments and little cottages and houses back at the end. This one is called, I don't know if you can make it out, it's a bit dark. It's called Hameau La Fontaine. We're on a street named after La Fontaine. And the word hameau usually refers to sort of a farm-like village, a little country village setting. And so they have created little spaces back there. Every now and then the gates are open, and of course whenever one is, I pop through. But today, this one's closed, the Hameau La Fontaine. The building next to it is straight out of the time. Oh, I just bumped into one of those little pylons because I was looking up. It happens from time to time. I don't know if you can make it out, but this says that an architect by the name of Frye built this one in 1889. It's not the fanciest building you'll see, but it's quite nice, brick. And I'll show you the entrance in a minute, but 1889, interesting year. Some of you may know. 1889, World's Fair, and they built that over there. If you can make that out. That's the Eiffel Tower. We are west of the tower, but I quite like the view specifically from this spot, and I like to contemplate the idea that that tower was built in 1889, just as the same brick building behind us was as well. Hi, Andrea Miles. It's great to see your name pop up. This building from 1889 that I just showed you, let me just give you a glimpse of what's going on above the doorway. Good stuff. Meditate on that detail for a moment. If you notice, sometimes a lot of lions in Paris, there have been books written about just the lions of Paris, but some of them look fierce and some of them look a little less so. This one almost looks worried. He looks like he's concerned about something, but I find that to be kind of cute. Renee Vaughn says it's great to hear my voice. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I had to cancel this walk twice, so I know you've all been waiting quite a while. This is a much anticipated live video here, number 38. So this building's nice and all, but I gotta tell you, it's nothing compared to a couple of numbers down. Let's talk about Art Nouveau. It means new art in French. Nouveau. It really came into its own in the 1880s, 1890s. it was a boom. You know, Paris would become the epicenter of Art Nouveau. And I think one reason Paris is so beautiful is because of that movement alone. And it was kind of a reaction against what had happened. You've heard of Haussmann, Baron Haussmann, who in the mid-1800s had a lot of strict rules about architecture and what could happen in Paris. And after 30 or so years of that, all of a sudden those Haussmannian laws and those rules of architecture were lax, and they were kind of loosened up a bit. And so all of a sudden, architects had the green light to express themselves. And the idea was to infuse everyday experiences like apartment buildings, furniture, metro entrances, and creating stunning buildings like this one. And you can interact with art. You can have an aesthetic experience and not just a practical one. So this is the first building that I want to show you. It's by the guy who did the beautiful Art Nouveau metro entrances of Paris, those big green cast iron gorgeous structures. His name is Hector Guimard. And we're going to really focus on this building a little bit to get started. This actually was the very first building, very first example of Art Nouveau that popped up. And we're in the 16th arrondissement, and we're far from the center of Paris. So what it was a great area to experiment, you know. The architects were really letting themselves loose here. It was materials like mosaic and iron and glass and ceramics and limestone. So the door here, you can see the name of this place. Again, Hector Guimard, the gentleman who created the Art Nouveau entrances, designed this. It's called Castel Béranger. Interestingly, those who did not like this building and thought it was a bit over the top nicknamed it the Castel Déranger, which is the French word for deranged. But no, it's Béranger with a B. So there are over 400 Art Nouveau buildings erected in just this area. Let me show you some more. Hector Guimard was born in Lyon. He eventually married a Jewish-American painter, lady by the name of Adeline Oppenheim. For that reason, because he had a Jewish wife, he actually built a synagogue in the Marais. And Guimard is in his 30s. He's rather an unknown architect. And he's asked by a wealthy widow to build an apartment building in the 1890s. And she says to Guimard, who is, he's not on anybody's radar, she says to him, surprise me with the building. And so he did. While he was planning the design of this, he had traveled over to Brussels, and he actually met the guy who gets credit for inventing Art Nouveau, a gentleman called Victor Horta. And that really helped Guimard get inspired. Let me show you the entrance a little bit more closely here. I can't believe people live here. It's insane. It's a little bit dark, sadly. And I don't know, am I going to be able to fit my equipment through this time? No, my equipment's a little bit too thick. Sorry about that. But I can still give you a little glimpse as to what's going on there. Imagine an unknown architect in Guimard, really quite young and early in his career, gets the commission. Gets the commission to do this, and he just lets loose. He just goes crazy. Let me try to show you a little bit more there if we can focus. Come on, camera, you can do it. You can do it. Yes. There we go. It's a little darker than I was hoping for today, but you know, it gets dark very early nowadays in the winter. Let me show you some more details here. The engraving up top, if you can make that out right there, actually won the most beautiful facade. They had contests for this type of thing in Paris. The most beautiful facade in Paris in 1898. This was his first commission, his first solo commission. And let's see some more details. There are some little white labels up there. maybe you can't see it, but the stones are cracking, the mortar's cracking a little bit. So that is where the city, they're monitoring what's happening to the building to make sure that, you know, nothing too crazy happens and nothing crumbles or falls apart or anything. If we scroll down, just every square inch of this building was contemplated by Guimard. There are 36 apartments inside. He actually himself, the architect, lived on the ground floor. So maybe that's why he made this so fancy. He knew that he'd be residing in this building, and everything from the curtains to the light fixtures to all the furniture in all of the rooms, not just his, but all of them inside this apartment building, were designed and organized, really, orchestrated by Guimard. And there's an entrance to the left, if you can make it out here. Beneath this little sort of turret on the corner, there's a cat, a sculpted cat. There's a whole cast of characters, actually. Cats and seahorses and lizards. That references that cat up there, the Chat Noir, you know, that famous image of the poster of the Chat Noir, the Black Cat Cabaret. Well, the cabaret is long gone, but this was, the building like this in 1898 was being made right around the same time as those great cabarets, and so there's a reference to that. And I hope you can make it out. Of course, you got to come here in person, really, to get the full effect, but I hope you can make out that this building is not like many others. And there's a gate here that sadly is not open for us today, but you can see the building extends back quite far. It's just a smorgasbord, really, of loveliness. Speaking of seahorses, let's go back over here, and then I'll move on to some other, because Guimard didn't just do this building. This was the first one he did in this neighborhood, but he went on to do several others. And so I got to show you those as well before we run out of too much time here. Can you make it out? Right there, I'm going to put it in the center of the screen. That is a big, beautiful green iron seahorse. I don't exactly know why the seahorse became such a motif for Art Nouveau, but you can see it in posters and fashion and paintings and, of course, architecture as well. This is number 14, Rue de la Fontaine in the 16th arrondissement. Let me back up a little bit and give you the full view. Even the air vents on the side, let me show you this. I mean, I just adore this building. Even those vents that pop out of the brick have an aesthetic attention to the detail there. Give you the overview here. Here we go. And then up top too, look at that glorious top floor. I don't know why Guimard didn't live in the top floor. He chose the ground floor, but anyway, let's move on. There's more Guimard to be enjoyed around here. That's me. Hi. I know I haven't seen some of you in a while. I just want to mention this: if this is your first time joining us, these live walks every week, at least when it's not raining or there are no family emergencies, every week I'm giving you a live vicarious walk through Paris in real time. If you want today, we're going to try something different today. I'm going to do an extended version of this walk that's going to be just for my Patreon supporters. So I have members that help me and support this project by giving a donation each month on patreon.com. And those folks are going to, let's keep myself in the camera here. Those folks are going to enjoy a little bit of an extended stroll. So I'm going to stop the public walk at some point and then switch over to our private channel, our private cafe chat group, where all of the Patreon folks can join me not only for an extension of this walk, but a cafe chat with Barbara as well. So that's just one of the many rewards that you get if you support this project and help it survive and thrive. Let me show you this other building that Guimard did in this area. And we'll talk about that cafe in a minute. Here we are, number 17. Guimard says Guimard 1911. So that previous one was 1898, and this is 1911, so he has already gone to build those beautiful metro entrances. Buildings like this, again, apartment buildings. More subdued, you know, why would it be more subdued? Well, many years had passed since he got that first commission, and perhaps, you know, the enthusiasm for Art Nouveau had waned a bit. Maybe there wasn't quite as much money flying around for projects like the previous one. Or maybe Guimard just didn't have as much to prove. And but you can still see the beautiful, subtle details. What I love too is this hair salon, coiffure, even keeps the same theme with their signage, right? Even though it's a modern sign, they keep the Art Nouveau vibe. You know, Art Nouveau just in general was such a celebration of forms of nature, plants, flowers, even the human body. And you can see, you know, the balconies here are like not many others that you'll see. Yeah, this is still absolutely lovely. And again, it'll be a little bit dark, but let me see. I'll try to show you the entrances here. Quite nice, isn't it? As I doink off the glass, as I often do. Beautiful floors, nice greenage in there. Hopefully you can make that out. My phone never likes, of course, windows, but you get the idea. And then this cafe here. This cafe was designed by Guimard, actually the only one that Guimard ever designed, the only cafe that he ever did, integrated into this apartment building. It used to be called Café Antoine, now it's called Crabon. It's more of a cocktail bar than a cafe. Let me show you just a couple of details inside. But I can tell you a few things about this cafe. It's called Crabon, and that is a new name because the current owners opened it up just about 6 months ago. And Crabon was actually a nephew of Oscar Wilde back in the day, and he was an interesting character, this nephew, who was a poet but also a boxer. And I was talking just earlier today to the owner, the current owner here, and he, in fact, is the same. He said he's a poet and a boxer, as is the head bartender. So that name, Crabon, seemed quite fitting. It's ultra charming, as you can see. You just frozen in time from 1911. It's absolutely special. It's mostly, they consider themselves to be a cocktail bar, actually, but you can get coffee. I had a Cafe Creme there earlier today, and they have light fare as far as quiches and salads and things of that nature. A 4.9 out of 5-star rating on Google Maps. 4.9 out of 5, so it's a very popular spot. Oh, before I leave, I gotta show you. I hope you can make this out, because I can't zoom in. But there is a motif in black, the black ironwork of the balcony, right on the bottom. And that same motif from the balcony is in red on the top of the sign. If you can make that out. Can you see that? In black and in red. Same motif. Oh, so good. But I gotta remember, we need to move on. Kathy Bryan, Arthur Cravant, to give her the full name, was the nephew of Oscar Wilde. Thank you, Kathy. And you can see here as we go around the corner, it's still the same, you know, the whole thing. Absolute celebration of Art Nouveau. Let me try to get up there. Another great entrance. And that's not the only building that Guimard did here. As we go around to a street called the Rue Agar, we got a traditional version of the street sign and then a gold version. I'll let you decide which one you prefer. So why is this called Rue Agar? It's named after this lady across the street. Let me show you. You can see her face. Try to get a little closer for you. Agar was a popular 19th century actress. She blew audiences away at like the theater of the Odeon, for example. She was a contemporary of Sandra Bernhardt, if you've heard of her, and actually performed with Sandra Bernhardt on stage. So this street is named after her. And there's some more lovely Guimard architecture. Ooh, that sky's quite nice. Hold on. Hold on now. I didn't expect that. Ah. My mom chimes in with which street sign she prefers. She said the gold one rocks. So it's official. You heard it from my mom. Gold one all the way. This is also Hector Guimard, tucked away on a quieter street. Again, more subdued than the first, but absolutely fantastic with its curves, all the subtlety. You can actually, it kind of reveals reveals itself to you as you go. You can only imagine what the apartments look like inside, or at least what they originally looked like. Again, if you're just joining us, this is Hector Guimard, the Parisian specialist of Art Nouveau. Hi, Teresa. I see you there. Bonjour. Thanks for stopping by. Look at this drainage pipe. If you're a lover of these little moments, then Paris will always, always fascinate you. This side view of the building really shows you what Guimard was going for. There's just a certain type of wavy quality to it in a way. I don't know how to explain it. You can see what's going on there. And this is same building in the back. You can see the same things going on over there too. And then, oh my goodness, one reason I wanted to bring you down this street. Do you see that street sign over there? That Guimard, because he built these buildings, he designed the street sign. And you can see one over there. And then we've got one closer to us on this side. Fantastic. Ooh, in passing, we're going to check out this lady here smoking a cigarette in her balcony. I'm going to pretend that I'm not looking at her, but there we go. Hopefully you got a good view. This is Guimard as well. So this whole street has an amazing stretch of his architecture. You can see number 21 again, nice stylized address plaque. The ironwork.
C'est pourquoi si t'as des chevaux, et bah plus.
Oh, look at the sky. Oh, Lauren Tonk coming in with some lovely poetry, saying his architecture is like the aging of a beautiful woman. Well done. This here is not Guimard, but still, it kind of that aesthetic pervades throughout. This is actually a building that's called the Villa Jeanne d'Arc, Joan of Arc. And you might not be able to make it out because I can't zoom, but at the very, very tippity top there is a statue of Joan of Arc, if you can make that out. I don't know as much about this architect, but well done on him. I mean, honestly, he did well for himself. Let's continue on here. I can show you across the street. How are we doing on time? Yeah, going late as usual. Late as usual. Here's another gated community. You know, more good living, basically. Always a bit of greenery, a bit of garden atmosphere. That's not Guimard, but this area, the 16th arrondissement, is full of all the same things. It's actually a big sort of U-shaped courtyard. Same thing over here. Good stuff. Oh my goodness, there's a view. Ah, meditation. Susan Rubin says she took herself on an Art Nouveau walk in Paris, but she's seeing a few new things here, so I'm very glad about that, Susan. Okay, onward we go, crossing. I got two more Guimards to show you. He was very prolific in this area. Lived in a couple of different buildings around here, he and his wife. So here, this is number 11 on the Rue François Millet. This says 1910. You can see, he definitely found his groove. We've got a bat theme, which shows up as well. You know, lizards, cats, seahorses, bats. I just love this idea of people giving a damn, and Guimard absolutely did, and so much of Paris reflects that. Imagine coming home to this every day. My goodness. How could you be in a bad mood? So even the buildings that I describe as subdued are still 10 times more gorgeous than your average apartment complex, right? I'm sure you can all agree on that. And then this isn't Art Nouveau related, but I did want to show you this spot. This is actually a daycare. Look at this beautiful sign. First of all, the building is in this great, what they call moulière type of volcanic stone. But look at that, look at that old metallic sign. Crèche meaning daycare. So the crèche of the 16th arrondissement. This to me looks like it's a courtyard straight out of Les Mis, or even one of those movies set in old time London, like Sherlock Holmes style. Do I have enough of an extension to show you? I've never seen what's on the other side of this gate. But if I can extend the camera enough, can you make it out? Yeah. I'm in full extension mode. Okay, so you saw the courtyard. So again, we're talking about what if you could actually live in these apartment buildings. Well, what if you could drop your kid off at this lovely daycare every day? Wow. We've got another sky view here. Let's see, let's try to expose for that. My wife says that my daughter Taya is watching and would like a little cuckoo, a little hello. Okay. Hi Taya, cuckoo honey. Daddy's on the internet. Daddy's on the computer. Hi baby. I'm gonna see you very soon, Taya. You're gonna come see me in Paris and we're gonna go do something fun? Yeah? We're gonna go to the museum? That's gonna be fun. Hi honey, I gotta get back to work, but I wanted to say hello. I love you, baby. And I love your little sister Tess. Bye. So I'm going to show you this in a moment. My Frites, my Patreon subscribers, that's going to be a bit of the extra content over that way. So that'll be fun. You'll join me in a few minutes for that private little version of the walk, a little extension for you. If anyone wants to become a Patreon member and get extra content, extra rewards for supporting this project, then you have the link in the description. Wow, the sky is just getting better and better, isn't it? Andy McGregor says, oh, that church. I know, Andy, you love a good church, don't you? Well, my Patreon folks are going to get to know a little bit more about that church and the surrounding area, which is gorgeous. As I'm walking, by the way, I mean, I'm kind of admiring, focusing on the sky. But it's just an absolutely gorgeous place to walk around. You can make that out. Luckily, as a tour guide, I've perfected my walking backwards skills. Of course, to be honest, I have fallen over a couple of times, but don't tell anybody. I like to pretend I have a 100% no fall record, but it's not true. All right, last building of the public walk. Also by Guimard. Oh, those colors. I almost just don't want to leave the sky shot, but I gotta show you this building here. Also Guimard, you can see the ironwork right away. It's called the Hotel Metzara. Let me show you up top as well. 1910, it was actually for a Venetian textile tycoon who obviously had the money to hire Guimard in 1910 to do his building. Again, there's kind of a bat theme, right? It's kind of a spider web bat vibe on the balcony there. It's not a huge building. You can see just a few floors. It's now owned by the Ministry of Education. It houses students from a nearby school. You can actually visit the interiors by appointment, and apparently there's a dining room that was designed and furnished by Guimard. I'm going to let people pass here before we get closer. Pardon, merci. We won't go inside today because we don't have an appointment to do so. An appointment, rather. But this will allow us to get a little bit closer. And I'll show you the doorway. Now, the Art Nouveau style, even though it was all the rage at the turn of the century, World War I essentially shut it down. Because all of a sudden, not only was there not any budget left for these kind of lavish, luxurious residences, but as you can imagine, just the morale of the nation and the things that they started, the values were placed elsewhere, and the attention to what was important. And so this really, Art Nouveau was born out of a rather, I don't want to call it frivolous because that's a kind of a demeaning term, but just a time during the Belle Époque where it was all about expression and fun and art and design, and everything was just a celebration of life in a major way. And I guess it's really no surprise that World War I would have toned that down. And so Art Nouveau really fell out of favor. A lot of the metro stations that Guimard designed were torn down. Only a couple of the original full-scale models of the metro stations have survived. And so there we go. That's our last image. Let me pop back out of the gate here. And we'll cross over. The Hôtel Metzara, 1910, Hector Guimard, Art Nouveau, 16th arrondissement. I hope you all can join me next week for another walk in a different neighborhood and with some more lovely anecdotes and details. Okay, so listen up. I'm going to bid all of you on the public broadcast adieu, or farewell, I should say, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Come back here next Saturday, hopefully, and keep an eye out for the advertisement. Patreon folks, my supporters, pop over to the Cafe Chat group. I'm going to give you 5 or 10 minutes to do that. We're going to continue this walk, and I'm going to make my way. I'm going to show you some more details, including a beautiful park that I like, that lovely church area over there, and also a hidden Rodin sculpture that's hidden in plain sight somewhere around here. And I'm saving that just for you, my lovely supporters on Patreon. All the links you need if you want to take a tour with me when you're here, if you want to check out my photos on Instagram, my blog, etc., etc. You're going to find all those links in the replay. If you missed any of this, the replay will be up immediately on Facebook. Okay, so Patreon folks, pop right over to the Cafe Chat group. We're going to do the walk. We're going to do the Cafe Chat with Barbara, and I'll see you there in a minute. For the rest of you, thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time around. And let's finish on the shot. All right, everybody, have a lovely, lovely weekend. I will catch you next week. Take care and bye-bye.